Hey everybody, this is Big Temp with the Cavecast. Thanks for coming and watching our content today. We hope you enjoy it. If you do, hit that like button. If you're new, hit that sub button. Again, thank you for tuning in, and this is the Cave. Hey, what's happening, everybody? This is Big Temp with the Cavecast. I got Big Mike on the other side. He's having some technical issues with his camera. We're going to figure this out. One of these days, it's going to get right. But we are calling basically to all these people who are out there. If you haven't watched our channel before, if you can't tell, we are Chief fans. And right now, we are about a week and a half out from the Chiefs trying to make a claim to be the first three-peat champion in the Super Bowl era. The funny thing about this is that with all this notoriety for being the champs and doing something or trying to achieve something that's never been done before, there has been a lot of angst out there for the Chiefs, which didn't used to be a thing. At one point, the Chiefs were the Cinderellas. Now, when it comes down to it, there has been some changes in the landscape. There has been a lot of hate. And we are asking the question, are the Chiefs the most hated team in the NFL? We want to know what everybody thinks. There's reasons that we ask these questions. And right now, the reason is we've seen so many comments, we've seen so many memes, I've seen so many TikToks, I've even seen a lot of YouTube videos who are addressing this and even trying to push their reality upon other people. And in the landscape that we're in now with social media, it seems to be very easy to do. Mike, what is your thoughts on this?
I think it's pretty obvious that they're, you know,
uh,
the most hated team. And that's just part of what happens when you win a lot.
would you say it's rightfully so that they're America's most hated team right now?
Um, I guess it depends on how you look at it. Like if you're a fan of a different team, I would hate these motherfuckers too. Like 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 come on. Duh.
Here's
I
the
was
funny
Bro, if I
here's
was
the
a
funny
Bengals
thing that
fan or a Bills
yes,
fan, I would like hate this team. I would hate Mahomes. Like he would be trash. Kelsey would be a diva. Like it'd be all above, bro. Like I will say
here
though is that I would respect. I will say this. And this is just me, just real quick. I would respect the fact of their games individually, and even as like their accomplishments as a team, though. Because as much as I couldn't stand Brady, and I still don't, I still can't stand Brady. When he's retired, even especially since he's retired, I have gained a new level of respect for his game and what he's done and accomplished because, bro, like one, and I know people will talk about the Spygate, the supposed cheating, all this kind
mhm,
of stuff, but the motherfucker got 7 Super Bowls, dog,
true.
and he's been to 10. So at the end of the day, you know, greatness is greatness, man. Like it is what it is. So I respect it, but yeah, I would definitely hate these. That was the other side
Well,
of it. So
here's my
I
thing.
get it.
Why do you think, because I wouldn't say that they were hated after they won the Super Bowl against the Eagles, their first meet, right? But
Ooh,
somewhere,
I don't know.
no. Think about this. Somewhere in
I think that was a
between,
start though.
yeah, somewhere in between after they won that Super Bowl and then met back up with San Francisco in this last Super Bowl. Somewhere along the lines, that changed for the Chiefs. I don't know what it was that changed, but I also think that we live in a climate now, like you said earlier, and we had talked about. It's the social climate where people they don't like something because one of two things. Well, I'll say three things. One is because their team probably can't beat this team, and they've been beat by them before, especially for something really big, such as the Super Bowl. Two, they are a division rival, and they, it's just a rivalry thing. They just don't like them, or their teams. It's a hatred thing because of who their team is, right? Or number three, I think it's all made up. You know, uh, there's this manufactured, loathing right now, and I don't believe a lot of it's true. I think a lot of it has to do with the simple fact of how many people are on social media and how many people are actually trying to become YouTube or social media celebrities. And they use this because it stirs up controversy. Well, controversy sells. Right now, the Chiefs are hot. And what's the best thing you can do for a team that's hot is to start controversy and say it's rigged or the refs are cheating for them, and then you placate those, those things to people who are in their feelings about their teams who have lost to them. And now they have a platform that they can actually excel on because now they have people to listen to them. I actually
Yeah, I
think that
agree.
I think that is part of the problem we have right now is that most of these people don't hate the Chiefs. A lot of them, they just go back and forth between the videos that they've watched before, and they listen to the same rhetoric.
Yeah,
Listen,
I agree. I agree, but like I think it's part of it. But like you
yeah,
said, all it takes is this small because people in general, people feed off the negative thing side of things more. So
exactly.
a small group of people can make it seem like the majority of people thinking the same way when
Yeah,
really it's only a small majority of people that's doing it.
yeah,
So
because
like,
they have the loudest voice in the room because they are
yeah,
constantly bitching about it.
yeah, exactly. Like it's gonna get looked at more so than even the majority of people that look at them in a positive way, even though it's the
Exactly.
minority. You know what I'm
I
saying? I think that's part of it. I
I
also
think.
think
Go
what
ahead.
else is part of it is the fact okay, I'll put it this way because you brought up the Eagles year, right?
Yeah,
The first championship of this run, the specific run.
yeah,
So I think it started barely started with that championship because of the refereeing and the calls and stuff like that, right? But you know what I think amplified it though?
hmm,
The very next year with the whole Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey thing, you got a lot of people that can't stand that part of it. Like I was literally just watching, I can't remember what the podcast is. They're pretty big. Uh they hate the whole Taylor Swift side of it. Like they can't stand it. They want the Chiefs to lose just because of that.
well, that's
And it's
asinine,
weird.
though.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
weird. It's
asinine.
ridiculous. But
You
there are a lot there is a large group of people that way. It's crazy.
So here's what's funny about that because you brought up the fact of the first Super Bowl with the Giants, and I mean with the Eagles. So I'm actually watching the playback of that Super Bowl right now as we speak, and it's uh, second quarter, and it's 3rd and 1 for the Eagles. And what happens is the Eagles line up for the tush push. Well, in this situation, one of the linemen, the offensive lineman for the Eagles, moves early. He just rocks forward just a little bit early. and tries to go back. And Frank Clark points it out. The referees throw the flag, right? It's 3rd and 1. They wind up getting a 5-yard penalty for movement early against the Eagles. They back it up, it's 3rd and 6. The very next play, Jalen Hurts gets the ball and he decides he's getting ready to run, but he gets ready to go switch hands as he's running and he fumbles the ball. Nick Bolton hits him as he's
Mm-hmm.
fumbling the ball, picks it up, scoop and score, 7 points for the Chiefs. But you know what irks me about that is that people will say that the Eagles didn't move, and I'm watching the playback on it on the rewind, and it's clear as day. The lineman moves early. What I don't understand is how we have come so far in this world, able to do reviews, rewind, look at things, and we will see the same exact thing. But because we have such hatred for a team, or we're
Yep.
so angry that this team is winning, we will deny what we are seeing. I had a guy tell me the other day after the Bills lost to the Chiefs again in the AFC Championship game that on that 4th and 1 or 4th and inches, whatever you want to call it, where Josh supposedly made the first down on the tush push. The problem is that his body stopped going forward. It went backwards, and instead of him going forward, he's going side to side. The problem is that the ball was blown dead after a certain point, and Josh's hand, the ball is in the center of his chest in his right hand. Now, let me tell you, I was told by this guy the ball was in his left hand. He was trying to get it across the line. Why would he have it in his right hand? I said, well, I'm just going to tell you this because this makes more sense. He's right handed. Most right handed people ain't going to handle the ball with their left hand if that's not their dominant hand. You know, he really couldn't understand that. common
It-
sense common sense will tell you
yes.
that's what he's going to do. That's what he was doing. But because he is so determined, because think about this. When you have an argument with somebody about the Chiefs, they don't want to go by facts, especially if you present facts to disprove their argument. If they're still arguing, they're not arguing for anything but to argue now. Because what they want to do is they want to go by what their opinion is. Well, I'm sorry, an opinion is not based in facts, it's based in emotion. And I told the guy, don't argue with me when it comes to facts if you're not going to come with facts. You're arguing with opinions, and opinions are based on emotions. And an emotion basically are feelings. I don't care how you feel. Give me the facts. But that's what we're running into. A
But you
bunch
know
of
what's
people.
crazy?
What's
You know what's
that?
crazy about that? No, and I agree. But you know what's crazy? Like that play specifically, um, I don't necessarily have a problem with people thinking that it was a first down because this is just my opinion. I think the play was so close. It was such a bang bang play.
Yeah.
It went either way, in my opinion. It could have they could have ruled it a first down, and I wouldn't have necessarily been mad at that, right?
But that's not
Because
the
it was
play. They didn't lose because of that play,
no,
though.
no, no, and I don't agree, and I agree, but that's what I'm saying though. The thing that I'm having a problem with though is people making it seem like it was a clear first down when it wasn't.
Exactly.
If you're arguing, it could have went either way. Agree, because it could have.
It could have.
I wouldn't have been mad. But would have also like if they would have ruled it a first down at first,
Yeah.
have had enough evidence to overturn it. It's not clear as day. Just like they
Facts.
didn't overturn it, vice versa. So like problem. And you're right. We talked about this the other day about how like they're so caught up in finding all these missed calls or calls that didn't get. or they did get called that shouldn't have got called when it comes to the Chiefs, but they'll ignore the entire other side of the ball when it comes to the Chiefs getting calls, and make it seem like you know the Chiefs are the only ones that get calls.
Exactly.
Insane to
And
me. Like I'll give you an example. That Mac Hollins touchdown,
yes.
dude, literally false started
Yeah.
early. But
Yeah.
nobody wants to talk about that. And I'm like,
Exactly.
bro, there's video evidence of him literally jumping early, bro.
But we
But
don't
y'all aren't
complain
saying
about it.
anything about it.
But we don't complain
Yeah, they're
about it.
not saying anything about it. They gloss over it because of the fact, well, it's the Chiefs. We don't care about that.
I
We
remember
only
when
care
it,
about, the Bills in their calls that's not getting called. It's
yeah, I,
crazy.
I remember when it happened during the game, and I said that's a false start, and then no flag was thrown. I was like, oh, okay, well it got missed apparently, and okay, we get it. We know what happened. We seen the end result after that play. I also remember where Ed Oliver comes across the line when the Chiefs have the ball,
Oh yeah.
and he
Hmm.
causes when he jumps, he causes I want to say Caliendo
Caliendo.
to actually jump early, right? Well, they call a false start on Caliendo, and I'm like, wait a minute, he jumped on the line.
Clearly. And it's
It's a
clear as
clear
day.
cut, but yet they didn't call it on the 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 Buffalo Bills defense and at Oliver. They call it on Caliendo. The problem is that you're going to have these kind of calls throughout any game. Referees are not perfect, but what they want, because they want to say, "Hey, we've come far enough. We should be able to review every play." We would be here for fucking 10 hours every game trying to get through one game. And by that time, you wouldn't have a product anymore. The product on the field would be way worse. It can't be perfect. It can be
Yeah, it's
as
never going to be
close.
perfect.
No, because there's always going
It's
to be the
always going to be
human.
human error.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's even with the players on the field. There's going to be human error on their part. So what? We can't have a fumble no more. We can't have an interception no more, because those are all human errors. That's all they are. So to me, I'm thinking to
Makes the game
myself,
what it is, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. Why are we wanting a perfect system when we should understand that the game itself is not perfect? That's what makes it beautiful. That doesn't make any sense to keep harping about the referees, and because you didn't get things your way, you go the whole punk
Bro,
route
that one
and,
play
and tell
where
everybody it's
Josh
rigged.
Allen,
Yeah.
that one play where Josh Allen ran for that first down, and when Charles Omenihu, who got held like a mug and they
Oh
didn't
yeah.
call, I'm just sitting here
Yeah.
like, dog, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
To me, I
crazy.
say, look, you guys want to blame it on the refs about why you lost this game, but are we not talking about the two times that you went for uh, the 2 point conversion and failed? Are we not talking about those times? Are you forgetting about those times? I mean,
And that's what I was saying. I said those kind of points.
they
I
come
mean, I
back.
literally spoke it. I literally said this. I was talking to my mom. I was like, man, listen, they didn't win. It's one thing to do it one time, but I think they did it like at least twice or three
Yeah,
times.
they for sure
And I'm
twice.
like, points minimum. You just missed out on for no reason.
And you lost the game
And
by
it's gonna come
three.
back to haunt you.
And you lost the game by three. You could have easily gotten to field goal range. And you know what happens when you get the ball back with 3 minutes and 33 seconds, and you gave yourself an opportunity with three timeouts to win this game down 29-32. The reason you lost this game is because you became desperate, and you showed that you were desperate. Maybe not all at
They got out of
once.
character.
You came out of character of what your game plan was. That's why it happened. And I've said this before, and I said it on our last video. At some point, Josh was going to make a mistake, because in his head, Patrick Mahomes has beat him so many times when it mattered that he's desperate to win. And since he's desperate to win, he's going to make a mistake that's going to cost him. And the one mistake he made was on fourth down when they had the ball last, and I want to say the Chiefs called an ET stunt, uh, corner cat
They ran
blitz,
a
right?
zero. They ran a
Yeah,
cover zero
yeah. It
for
was a corner
sure.
cat. It was a corner cat blitz. They had ran it once before during the game, but this time they had put.
The corner on the blitz.
Well, actually, what happened was they put Jones, Chris Jones, on the right hand side.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Josh seen it and pushed the coverage to go to make sure they picked up on that side. And when they ran this
into
corner
the
cats,
blitz.
yeah, when they ran this corner cat blitz, Josh didn't see that the corner was going to be coming, and he ran to the far side. And here comes Karlaftis putting pressure on him as well because the pressure came up on the from the corner, and he didn't realize they were running a corner cat blitz from that side. He didn't realize what they were doing. And if he had been familiar with the Chiefs and what they like to do, and shout out to Spags because Spags
Oh,
sat on
Spags is a genius, dog.
he sat on that play all
All
fucking night
game. He did.
until he
He was like,
really
oh,
needed it.
he was like, oh, wait a minute.
Exactly. He
And
sat
you know
on
what?
that. He sat on that package. He ran it one time right before that, and he ran it to the opposite side, right? But they didn't really. They didn't use the stunt. This time they used the stunt, and the problem is, people don't understand. It's you have to play perfect against the Chiefs, because if you make a mistake late, they're going to make you pay for it. As the fucking San Francisco 49ers from last year's Super Bowl. They did the same exact thing.
Hey, Dad, you know what's
Yeah.
crazy? I was talking in the space, I think it was yesterday, and I was trying to explain, the difference between Mahomes and especially like, you know, Burrow, Josh Allen, and Lamar.
Yeah.
Especially not so much Burrow because he doesn't necessarily play the same way as far as like mobility wise compared
Yeah.
to those three.
Yeah.
So the difference is that like you notice how the Bills were playing better at a certain part in the game when they were running the ball.
Exactly.
But you would
Exactly.
never say that. But you would never say that for a Pat Mahomes team.
Nope.
You don't want Mahomes to keep fucking passing the ball. You want them to run it. You don't say that about a Lamar or a Josh Allen team.
Nope.
There, it's all. What do we say every time we get into the playoffs with them? It's always they get away from their identity in their game, which is running the ball.
And why do we say that that's what happens? Why is it that we say that's what happens? Do you
It's
remember what we? Do you remember what I said?
oh, you're talking about as far as like
When
they do
people
that?
told, yeah, when people told me that people aren't scared of the Chiefs anymore, I said, well, you could have fooled me, because each time you get into these situations with the Chiefs and it matters, you walk away from your game plan that
Oh
you've
yeah,
been
yeah. They make
successful with all year,
you out of it.
and then you want to try to play like they play. And the one thing you can't do is play like the Chiefs. You
So I
can't
think
play
there's
like they
pressure.
play.
I think there's pressure on Mahomes or not Mahomes, Josh Allen and Lamar specifically because they, especially Lamar, more so because I think he gets a little bit more scrutiny, but
Well,
he
yeah,
gets more pressure to play a certain way as being a quarterback. He wants to prove that he can be
a
that pocket
quarterback.
presence guy that
Yeah,
can throw the ball and he can win that way instead of
yeah,
just being who he is
yeah.
and just going with his strengths, which is running the ball. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But
No,
I
to
think
me,
there's
it's
pressure.
not.
There's pressure on them to do that and perform to where because you don't have to worry about that with Mahomes, and that's the difference.
Yeah,
Mahomes doesn't need to, rely on his run game.
no.
You would
And
never say that about a Mahomes team, bro.
what's
Ever.
what's what's funny about this whole situation, because when they played the Bills the first time this season, Mahomes had no rushes, and they ran a spy with Mahomes in that first game. This game, in the AFC Championship game, Mahomes ran a bunch, and they didn't have a spy on Mahomes this time. Not a lot. Very, 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 very seldom. right?
Yeah, because they don't see that coming. You know what's funny? Every playoff, like, and I'm pretty sure you've noticed this.
Yeah.
Mahomes always picks it up in the run game in the playoffs.
Yes,
Every
because he
single
understands
time.
exactly how they're going to play him, and he can recognize the defenses. And at this point, like I said, I'm not saying Mahomes is reading these defenses perfectly, but
Shit, he
for
damn
so,
near close.
for some reason, he's picking up everything they're putting down in these playoffs, no matter what team it is that he's played. Here's what's funny about all of that, though. What Mahomes was able to do in the AFC Championship game, he basically pulled a Josh Allen on Josh Allen.
Yeah,
He did exactly what Josh Allen was supposed to be doing. And as you can tell, if you guys didn't watch our last video, we talked about, hey, this is what the Bills' game plan is going to be. They're going to try to throw it for 5 yards, going to try to run it for 4 yards. They're going to get to 3rd and 2 or 3rd and short, and they're going to try to go with a tush push. And they were not successful that night in the AFC Championship game a lot on the tush push. It did not work out for them the way that they thought it was going to work out. Hell, Josh Allen even fumbled one of those when he tried to go over the top. I don't know how he got the ball back.
I
I
don't
really don't.
know. I don't know what he was thinking putting that ball out like that.
I don't
That
know.
was horrible. And I
I
just
don't
had a
know.
funny feeling he was getting ready to do that right before he did it. So I was like, he getting
Yeah.
ready to put that ball out.
Yeah, and so that's why I said. But what's funny is that Mahomes did a Josh Allen on Josh Allen in the Bills. He did exactly what two rushing touchdowns in the AFC Championship game. I mean, come on. No, we weren't thinking that. We thought
He's
maybe
the
he might.
leading. I think he's the leader in all time rushing touchdowns in Chiefs history too in the playoffs.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
And you
And,
know
and
what's funny? And this is this, Dad, real quick. And look, I've said this. I've said it, and I'm gonna say it again because the homie pointed out a great point, and I've been saying this. All these quarterbacks have had a badass running back in their backfield.
true.
Lamar, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, who else? Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
Everybody has had a badass running back. Every single one of them dudes has at least had a 1K yard season. Mahomes is the only one that has not had one running back with a 1,000 yard season. I'm
that's
gonna tell
true.
y'all this right now. If the Chiefs fuck around and get a badass running back in this draft, I'm gonna tell.
Yeah.
Listen,
It's,
y'all think y'all seen something from Mahomes now? I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. That is going to turn him into a completely different monster
yeah, it's
because
not
you
gonna.
see what it did for Lamar.
Yeah, it's not gonna be good.
It'll
It
be
can it
pretty. I'm
can
gonna tell
cause a
y'all
lot
that
of
right now.
problems. Now, here's my question to all the people that have tuned in tonight, or who've been subscribers, or even if you're new. Why do you think the Chiefs are being made to be the most hated team in America right now? We want to know. If you can, leave your comment in the comment section. Leave your answer there. We want to see. We want to see what we get back as far as answers go. And I can just say this: to me, a lot of it is BS. There was a good take today, and the take was from uh, First Things First, and they talked about something to this very same notion, and basically it was the reason why the Chiefs are mostly hated. And one of the guys on the panel said that, and I think it was Nick Wright. I think Nick did say that he thought most of the reason for it was because people. The reason why people hate the Chiefs is because of pretty much what we said. There's a lot of teams whose teams, their fans are tired of losing to the Chiefs. And somebody said something, and they said it along the lines of they think the reason why, because you got to think about it. They got over 53 to 54 million people that viewed this last game. Crazy, right?
It was 57.6 million. I remember saying it.
57, that's what it was.
That's
57.
insane.
Yeah.
Yep.
So all these people tuned in, and I said, that is wild that you had that many viewers who tuned in for that game, right? And Nick Wright said along the lines that he thinks the reason why people tuned in for that game is because a lot of them hate watching because they want to see the
Oh
Chiefs
yeah,
lose. And Kevin Wild said he didn't know if he agreed with that. And I said, I don't know. I kind of agree that that's part of the reason why it did the numbers it did. Because
I
people
think
are
part of it, of
watching to
course,
see, yeah, they are watching to see if the Chiefs do lose because they don't want to see them win. And
with the Patriots.
I mean, yeah. So I cannot not agree with him. I mean, I kind of agree that that is exactly what was going on. So, uh, but to me, we've gotten to the point now where, hey, look, the AFC Championship game is done. We have done something that no other repeat champion was able to do, and that's get back to the Super Bowl, right? And now we have a new, a new quest to try to conquer, right? Well, during this time, Travis Kelsey and his brother Jason, they're on their show doing their New Heights podcast, right? And the question was asked by Jason Kelsey. The question was, basically, how does Travis look at, see himself? Does he look at himself as the villain? And this was his response.
Do you guys enjoy being the villains of the NFL?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean,
At one point in time, it wasn't that. And
yeah, you were the cinder. You guys were the darling of the NFL.
Yeah, I was the do you feel bad for him guys, and
You're now the heel.
I'm enjoying doing this with the guys together, the guys that we have in there, because it's like it just makes us even more of a family.
That's right.
You just
Yeah.
circle the wagons with, people are saying whatever they want, and you just band it together, and it just makes you more appreciate more of what you have because people want what you have.
This is how I feel, like how dominant you guys are at football. I feel like this when I play beer ball. I just know everybody wants me to lose, but I'm not going to lose. I refuse to lose at beer ball. Do you guys enjoy?
Jason just had to throw that shit in there about beer ball.
I'm done.
But you know what? I feel like Jason, or not Jason, but Travis Kelsey, he said it the best. I love it because it lets me understand how precious it is, basically, that what we're doing or what we're trying to accomplish, it means something. It means something so much that nobody wants to let us do what we're doing, and they're willing to, make us into the villains. And we will gladly be the villains if it means that we're going to achieve the goal that we're trying to achieve, right? I think that's how you should be, no matter who you are. Chiefs, the Eagles, hell, the Buffalo. Whatever the goal was that you were trying to, you should be in that mindset that you're trying to be the villain. You're
I think
trying
it
to,
keeps you. I think it keeps you from being complacent too,
yeah,
because it just gives you. It just if everybody likes you and loves you, it kind of defeats the motivation.
yeah.
If everybody hates you and they're doubting you and they're blaming it on y'all not really being that good and it's only because of the refs and the league is rigged, then that gives you more motivation to even show out even more.
You
So
know what's kind of funny that you say that because I'm watching, like I said, the playback from the Super Bowl between the Eagles and the Chiefs, and Mahomes go down. He goes down in the first half, and during this playoff run, he had gotten injured that ankle, right, from the Jags game, and he had been dealing with it the whole playoff. And I kept hearing when Mahomes went down, or the way he was running throughout the rest of the playoffs, or the way he was playing, oh, he ain't really hurt. He's faking.
yeah, I've been hearing that too.
And
Yeah.
do you realize that a lot of that, what you were saying earlier, I kind of thought about it. I said, you know what? I wonder if a lot of that came from the fact that Mahomes played with a high ankle sprain, and people wanted to really say that he didn't really get hurt.
Yeah, there's this Eagles fan. He's on Twitter. He be saying that talking about you know Mahomes, his leg wasn't really hurting. They drugged him, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, duh, they drugged him. Like, what? Of
Well, I mean, that's what they
course,
do. They give a
that's what they
shot.
do.
Yeah, they give a shot.
The pain
This,
from him feeling the pain and all that. Of
yeah,
course.
but they act like he's the only one that's ever done that. I mean, no, that happens a lot. It happens even when
And you
it's
know what's
not
funny?
playoff games.
You know what's funny? When he did that, remember that long run he had against the Eagles?
Yep.
You know, it's funny because like they're like how his ankle hurt and he just made that run, that long run play. He was running full speed. But I'm like, this is how I know y'all just be running. Y'all just biased because you could tell he's favoring one leg, bro.
Yeah.
Like, look at the way he's running. You can tell. Look at the way he's running. And
Yeah,
even when
but
the play was over, even when that play was over, you could see he was clearly still in pain because he was like, limping and squinting after it as soon as that play was over.
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, people are finding any kind of way they're making up all kinds of shit. Like now they're talking about now it's not even about football. Now you know what I've been seeing on Twitter all day. Remember I
No.
sent you that video. Now the whole thing is there's a picture of him and Jalen Hurts, and they're talking about they're talking about the NFL keep talking about how there's two black quarterbacks in the NFL.
Oh,
I only
yeah.
see one. Like shit like that. Now all of a sudden it's about race again and him not being black and him not claiming he's black and he only see him with his white family. I'm like, just this is what happens when you're great. They just bring out all kinds of bullshit,
Well,
So
what's even sadder about that is that we have to have a discussion about his race when we're talking about football, and
exactly,
and
ain't
two
got nothing to
great
do with it.
quarterbacks who have been able to lead their team back to a Super Bowl again. What in the hell does race have to do with it when it comes to their play?
Exactly,
That's leading to the
it's
same
completely
shit.
irrelevant.
Yeah, and it's leading to the same shit that for years in the NFL, they would tell you that black quarterbacks can't play the QB position because they weren't bright enough. I remember hearing all that shit back in my day when I was
But
coming
Dad, you
up.
know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about that? A lot of people that bring that up, they're making it seem like the league is favoring Mahomes because of he's not all the way black. But I'm like, wait a minute. Even make any sense because if that was the case, they would just favor Josh Allen and Joe Burrow.
Yes,
And
exactly.
they would just make sure they're the ones that are top dog, not Mahomes. That don't even make sense.
Well, you can't tell these people things that make
That
sense.
makes no sense, bro.
You
Like,
know, you just can't tell these people things that make sense. Like I said, we're dealing with a whole completely different landscape now. And I'm telling you, look, I may not get all the views that a lot of these people get. I may not do all the controversial shit to get these views that some of these people will sell their soul to do. But one thing I'm going to do is I'm always going to keep it 100 when it comes to this shit. And I'm going to tell you right now, half of y'all don't know your head from your fucking ass. And some of the shit that y'all say, man, you ought to be ashamed of yourself because some
a
of the
lot of people
shit,
don't know shit about football either.
no,
Like,
it
they
is
just be saying some
completely
crazy
wild.
stuff.
Completely wild. Look, it's like I said, I'll say it again. I said it before the playoffs even came close to starting. I told people you were talking shit about Mahomes and all the shit they weren't able to do. How they were the worst 15-1 team. Before that it was they were the worst 9-0 team. They were the worst 10-0 team. All this shit and how Mahomes hadn't played well. They were winning by one score. All this crap, right?
Or they
And I
still talking about that, talking about they're not
yeah,
even if they win, they're still not as impressive because they didn't look dominant. But
I
there's
said it
teams
then.
there's teams that look dominant but they lose.
Look, I said it then. I said you guys will understand once Patrick gets into the playoffs. He is still Mahomes. He's one of the greatest, most decorated QBs, young QBs at that. To do what he's doing at 29 years old is never, it's unheard of. But you don't want to put respect on him because you can't imagine what he's doing at the age he's doing it, the way he's doing it, and he's doing it. Think about this. In 2021, after he had already won a Super Bowl, in 2021, he plays up against arguably for the next 3 to 4 years some of the best QBs in the league in the AFC Championship games. The first one in 2021, he played up against Josh Allen. Won. He plays up against Joe Burrow, okay, in 2022. Won. He goes up against Lamar Jackson in 2023. Wins. And he turns right back around to start the fucking carousel all over again, and he beats Josh Allen again. For the last 4 years, he's beat the best 3 quarterbacks in the fucking league. In the AFC Champion, when it matters. And like I told you guys, when it comes down to it, the problem that people don't understand about football is about moments. And he's had the biggest moments.
That's with any sport too, though.
He's had the biggest moments. He's had the biggest moments out of any of those quarterbacks. And until he doesn't, he's still the best QB on the fucking planet. But they'll argue
Bro,
up and down.
Mahomes could lose. He could lose the Super Bowl and he's still the best quarterback in the league, and it's not even close.
But they'll argue you up and down about this. And what irritates me about this to my fucking soul is that people want to put this on him about he's not really black now. What the hell does that matter? I wouldn't give a damn if he was gray.
That nigga could be purple.
He's doing things that you have not seen done before. And he's doing them in an excellent fashion. I mean, look, Buffalo, I ain't gonna give y'all no props because I've heard some of the most racist shit I can possibly hear come out of your fan base. And it's sad.
Them, and you know who else is bad
sad.
too? I think it's worse though. Eagles, listen.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna tell y'all something. Philadelphia fans, man, listen, man.
Look, but that's
y'all gotta chill, dog.
My thing is this. Buffalo in particular. Because what you guys do and what you guys say in some of the videos that I've seen, man.
Oh, yeah.
I felt sorry until I heard some of this shit. But I'm going to say this, and I want you guys to understand this. You did this to your fucking self. If you want to blame somebody, blame your fucking ownership. Because they ultimately gave up their number 10 draft pick to the fucking Kansas City Chiefs so the Chiefs could actually pick up Mahomes in 2017.
And y'all niggas still gave him Xavier Worthy.
And then you fucked around and you let the Chiefs go ahead, make a trade with somebody else to jump in front of you and pick up fucking Trent McDuffie, who you guys wanted to fucking get. And then you did it again this year. You let your asses not learn your fucking lesson and you gave up a fucking trade and switch places with the Kansas City Chiefs again to get Xavier Worthy. You deserve what you got. I don't care what nobody says. Sometimes when you make your bed, you got a fucking lie in that motherfucker. And the problem is that you guys don't know when to fucking shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah, that's facts. Them and the Bengals, oh, my God.
I don't care what nobody says because those things that happened weren't something that Mahomes did. They weren't something that the fucking the fan base of the Kansas City Chiefs did. Those are things your ownership and your group did. How bad do you have to be to go to fucking 4 Super Bowls and lose to every NFC East team except for the fucking Eagles? And you did it to the fucking Cowboys twice. How bad do you have to be to where you wind up going and losing to fucking the same QB, Patrick Mahomes, 4 times in a row with the same QB on your team? Josh Allen is the only QB to lose to another QB 4 fucking times in a row in the playoffs. The only fucking one. But you will always continue to blame somebody else. Look. Things ain't gonna always go your way. Sometimes you gotta just pick up the pieces and try to just keep moving forward. But hey, what do I know?
Hey, you know what's crazy?
I'm just a fan that's watched this shit happen for a team that nobody thought was going to ever fucking be shit, ever. And
Man,
the
you know it's crazy.
pieces, the
Hey,
pieces just fell into place though.
this I was in the Eagles space and they was saying, bro, everybody in there was saying we're gonna get blown out by the Eagles. And one dude in particular after the space, he was like, we're gonna blow the Chiefs out. We way better at every position except for quarterback and tight end.
Mm.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, there isn't a cornerback on that team that's better than Trent McDuffie. So I don't know what he's talking about.
I wouldn't care even if there was. Here's the problem, like I
There
told somebody
isn't.
before. You are never out of a game with a quarterback like fucking Patrick Mahomes.
And it's
Because,
not even just him because you got Spags and Andy too. Yeah, he
yeah,
wild.
but think about this. In order to fucking win these games, you have to be able to score some kind of points. Listen, I'm not saying Patrick is perfect, but he's got a track record in these type of situations, and I trust that. I trust Andy Reid in these type of situations. And I'm going to also tell you why I believe that the Eagles should not fucking ever win another fucking Super Bowl if they're ever playing up against fucking Andy Reid. Ever. In
Especially the way
2000,
they did him.
yeah, in 2012, November to be specific of 2012, Andy Reid's son passes away. In December of 2012, I want to say that the Eagles were 8-8. Harry Roseman, or whoever their GM is at that time, comes out in an interview and they asked him, "Hey, is 8-8 good enough for you guys? You think you'll be able to make the playoffs? Is that good enough for you guys to do what you're doing, or to even make a run? You think that's a legitimate, you know, record?" And Harry Roseman said no. They said, "Do you think that this is gonna make you happy even if you get to the playoffs?" He said no. He didn't like it. January of 2013, the Philadelphia Eagles are not in the playoffs. They fire Andy Reid. Now let me tell you, Andy Reid won't say it, but I thought what they did, especially since that man's son had just died, I think that was the most fucking just just disheartening things you can do. It was the most disrespectful way to fucking get rid of a coach who you knew had been there for all those years, and you get rid of him after his son has passed away. And to me, I think that's something that they need to maybe suffer a little bit for. Now that's just my feelings. That don't mean that I'm right. That's just my feelings. But I'll be goddamn. You want to tell this man he can't coach there no more? He had already lost his kid. The one thing he's been doing for a long time in the place that he loves was Philadelphia, and you're okay with getting rid of him. Not too long after his kid dies. So to me, I do not think you should ever win a Super Bowl against Andy Reid after the way you did him. You want to win it against everybody else? Fine, so be it. But I don't think you should win one against Andy Reid. I believe that y'all owe him a lot more.
That's facts.
A lot more. And you ain't paid your penance yet.
Yeah,
So,
the dude I was talking about, he said because the girl, she's an Eagles fan as well, but she said, I personally do not see us blowing them out. I think it's going to be a close game.
yeah.
This dude responds and says Tampa Bay blew them out a few years ago because of their pass rush, held them to 9 points. This is a less talented Chiefs offense, and we the number one defense. I don't see them scoring more than 10 points.
Oh,
It's shit like that because, like, to me, I think we're gonna win. Like, I'm gonna always ride with the Chiefs, but I'm
oh
not gonna
yeah.
sit here and say we're gonna blow them out. Like, I respect the Eagles and their team. I think they're a really good team, and they are loaded. They are loaded. They
Yeah.
are that. So I'm not gonna sit here and say we're gonna blow them out. I think it's gonna be a close game.
I can
But a
I
shit
can
like
eat.
this,
Yeah, but here's
yeah,
the
a shit like
deal.
this.
They were loaded. They were loaded the same year that we played them before when we won the Super Bowl. They were loaded. They had the number one
They still had the number one
pass rush.
defense.
Yeah, they had the number one pass rush in the league. Matter of fact, they were third in NFL regular season history in sacks that year. Third
Never faced.
out of all time.
I think every Super Bowl he's faced the number one defense in the league that year.
He has.
I don't know if Tampa was number one that year. I'm not
Uh,
100%. I know they were
I
close at
I want to say
least.
they were close. They were either number one or they were close because, yeah, that
Everybody else
defense
was
was
definitely
nasty.
number one. Yeah, they were all number one. So
And here's the
having a number
deal.
one defense doesn't necessarily mean nothing when it comes to
No,
Mahomes. To be honest,
but to be that disrespectful towards
yeah, it's
Mahomes,
crazy.
look, I'm not saying that the Chiefs are going to blow out the Eagles. I don't expect that. The Eagles are a well-coached team. They've got veteran guys who have been to a Super Bowl. Mind you, yeah, they didn't win it, but they've been there. And this game could go either way. Let's be honest about that.
Definitely
Because
could.
because any team can beat any team on any given day. But the thing is when you get overconfident and you think that you're just by far more superior than everybody
Yeah, I
else
don't
on
think
the
it's a
field,
given. Yeah, I don't think it's a given at all. I
I
don't
don't believe
underestimate
that.
no team.
I
Yeah, I don't
don't.
underestimate no team.
And the one thing I will say about that, it's going to come down to who executes the best. That's all it is. It's going to come down. Look, I can have my feelings about the Eagles and how they did Andy Reid. I can have my feelings about, them talking shit. I can have all these. I've already heard, I guess C.J. Gardner Johnson's been bumping his gums already.
And that's the problem. But that's the problem though. Not even just fans. I think what happens is with fans, they talk all
Yeah,
like when they get to playing the Chiefs, the fans get to talking super crazy. Like
yeah,
and then the players from that specific team that they end up playing get to talking real greasy before these games, right? And they
yeah,
get to saying shit. They get to saying shit like Dawkins said, like with the Bills talking about. What did he say? He said, "We're America's team" and all this
yeah,
kind of shit. Now, it's
exactly.
shit like sometimes you just gotta learn to shut the fuck up because the
And
Chiefs players don't say nothing.
no, and you
Very
know what?
respectful.
You know what's funny
I'm
about
running
that?
their mouth.
They
Very-
all, everybody on the Chiefs hear this shit. And you know who hears it and takes all that shit to heart? Petty Mahomes. Petty Mahomes hears all this shit. And he just lets it kind of sit there inside of him. He don't say nothing to nobody. You know what I
And I'm a
knew? You know when
no.
I
Go ahead.
knew
Go ahead.
when I knew the Chiefs were going to win against the Bills? It was that night during the opening ceremonies of the game. And they had just come out and they had sang the national anthem. And they did this view on Patrick. And it's like panned from the bottom and it's looking up at him a little bit. And at the same time, in the background, you can see the arrowhead symbol, name back there. And then you see the stealth bomber go over the top. And here come these big flashing, boom, boom, red fireworks. And at that same time it goes off, Patrick kind of looks to the side up in the air, and this look on in his face and in his eyes, man, I was like, oh yeah, he's ready. He is about that action tonight.
And I'm a
I
and
could see it. I could see it. And he heard all the talk. He heard all of it. He knows exactly what everybody's saying about it. He hears all the shit the fans are saying from other teams. He hears all the shit from other coaches that they're saying. He hears all the shit from the analysts. He hears all this shit.
and if he ain't hearing it, Bobby Stroh, his trainer, is telling him.
Yep. And
But
I can
Dad,
tell you,
you know,
he's internalizing all of it.
crazy too. Man, and I think this is huge. Like, because Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson have been injured,
Yeah.
and if I remember right, I seen that Landon Dickerson he didn't even practice,
No, he
and
didn't.
like
He didn't.
so like I'm gonna tell look Eagles fans, I'm gonna tell y'all right now if they're not look, and I think they're gonna play right more than likely both him
Yeah.
and Landon Dickerson. But if they are even a little bit hobbled, I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. Chris Jones is gonna have a field day,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna tell you who else gonna have a field day.
Oof.
Charles Omenihu,
Yeah.
because he's been waiting for this moment.
Yeah.
This was one of the biggest because he didn't get to play in the Super Bowl last year. He got hurt
Yeah.
right before the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna tell y'all those two dudes, especially Charles, right?
Yeah.
Charles got a chip on the shoulder right now. He's coming for blood. I'm gonna tell y'all this right
Yeah.
now.
He felt slighted because of the last year where he didn't get to play, and he really wanted to be on the field that year. So,
And the crazy thing is, he was killing that game in the AFC
like,
Championship.
oh yeah, he had a
He was
strip sack
nuts.
fumble on Lamar in that game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
So
I truly believe that. And listen, I got friends that are Eagle fans. Hey, look, it's nothing personal. It really ain't. But I've been getting shots all week. My boy Brandon, you know what I'm talking about, Brandon. Yeah, I know you're gonna see this
man,
video. He been throwing shots all week. Hell, I mean, okay, it is what it is, right? We still got over another week before any of the fucking, any of the fucking, you know, the bombs start flying. We got a little bit left, right? And I'm gonna
man, I
let
can't
you.
wait. It's
I'm
taking too
gonna
long, man.
I'm gonna let you enjoy all your little, your Jabs Eagle fans. I'm gonna let y'all enjoy this for right now. I really ain't got much to say. I said what I had to say when it came to the situation as far as you know Andy Reid and how y'all did him. But I'm gonna just say this. I think the Chiefs they are hungry for this. And the one thing that you can say, I've seen it before. There are teams that have never been to this point. And the one thing I can tell you about this Chiefs team is they are hungry. Even though they have been to multiple Super Bowls and won, this
It's
team
just
they're still hungry. They want to do something nobody else has done before. And you know what the thing about greatness is greatness breeds greatness. And when you have somebody that wants to be great and they are still out there pushing, pushing their other teammates to be great. And it's not just one person because it's infectious, right? When that starts happening and they are still hungry, and now it's a new hunger to do something that nobody's ever done before, man, I don't think we've seen anything like this.
hey, and I'm a
It,
hey, I dad. I'm a hey. Look, I think we can pretty much put that like Andy Reid definitely got some plays dialed up for this game.
oh, definitely.
That he
Definitely.
that when he did those two plays with
Mm,
Mahomes, and I know Mahomes, like he clearly has the say so in terms of if he's going to hand the ball off or keep it
the
himself,
RPO, it was an RPO
the
that he decided to
RPOs.
keep. Yeah.
But it's the way it was, the way the play is set though,
Yeah.
because you had, I think it was Taylor that went and pulled.
Yep.
He went from the left side and pulled and ran over to the right.
Yep.
Bro, I ain't ever seen that play before.
Nope.
As a
And
matter of
that's
fact, that exact same play, Lamar Jackson and the
yes.
Ravens did against the Bills the week prior.
Yep.
The exact same
And
play.
and Andy Reid seen it and said, I think I can
But you know
mess
what's
with this a
crazy
little
about
bit.
that? Remember in the Eagles Super Bowl when he used those two plays for
Yep.
the first one was to Kadarius Toney and the other one was to
Sky Moore.
uh Sky Moore.
Yep.
He took that exact same play. I can't remember who the Eagles played before that. I don't know if it was in the playoffs or, but they used that exact same play against the Eagles, and
Yes.
and Reed took it and used it to score on them.
Yep.
So you know what's going to happen? Reed is going to come up with one of these plays that somebody didn't scored on the Eagles, and he's going to catch them off guard, and the Chiefs is going to do it and score on them.
You know what's
It's
funny
going to
that you
happen.
say. You know it's funny you say that because Greg Russo of the Buffalo Bills said that on that play they had never seen the Chiefs run that
Yep,
before, and so they were actually caught off
caught
guard
them
by
off
that,
guard.
and that's
Yeah, because
all it
you could
takes.
tell by the way they were playing that call because like they completely fooled them on that play.
Oh yeah,
It
definitely,
was insane. So
definitely,
I,
definitely.
yeah, I can't wait. I think, yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the Chiefs win this game, man. And I ain't gonna say it's gonna be a blowout or nothing like that, but Chiefs winning this game. I'm speaking into
Well,
existence
I'm
to
I'm
get
I'm
that
going to say
3P.
the Chiefs win too because I mean, hell, this is my team. I'm riding with them. So I will say I don't know if it'll be a blowout. I will say it'll probably be close, just like the last one was. But I will also say this: I hope there's not a lot of talking. I hope there's not a lot of talking. Save that chitter chatter. Save it
Please do.
because if you think that Mahomes is hard to deal with now, don't give him a reason to go out there and try to prove something when it comes to how tough he is. Because look, I truly believe that's probably one of the toughest quarterbacks in the NFL that I've ever seen. To do some of the
Oh
stuff that
yeah.
especially mentally, yeah, tough as
Hey,
hell.
you know what? Another thing too, because I keep seeing people bring this up. They talking about their secondary.
Hmm.
Like, I think they're talented. I don't think they're bad, but I do think people are starting to overrate them because they was getting got by Jalen or Jaden Daniels in that game. Like he was, him and Terry
Yeah,
was getting, they was picking them apart in certain parts of that game. So like
yeah,
this Chiefs offense, their receivers are way better collectively than they were in 2022,
oh
and
yeah.
I don't think they're secondary. Like they're good, but I don't think they're just like world breeders either. Like, and not to mention the two of them are rookies.
Yeah, I think they're
You know what
good.
I'm saying? Like,
I think they're really good.
yeah,
I
they're
don't.
good, but they can definitely be had. Like,
I
especially
think
because they got that rookie safety back there too.
yeah, but I think anybody can be have. The problem is like I tell people all the time. Don't underestimate the greatness of Andy Reid as a play caller and a play
Mm.
designer. You have to realize that you're talking about a guy that's got all these years of experience as a play designer and a play caller, and I truly believe that he is going to do something special in this game that we have never seen before.
And I'm calling it right now. Remigio is taking one back this game.
Oh man,
I don't
he
care.
played
I'm calling it.
phenomenal. He
I'm
played
calling it.
phenomenal as a kick returner.
He's
I
taking
loved it.
one. He's either taking one back or he's going to take it like all the way back to like the 2 yard line.
Yeah,
Either one.
just hold
He's
on to
going
the
to get at
ball.
least one of them.
Just hold on to the
Oh
ball.
yeah,
That's
hold
all I
on
care
to it.
about.
Yeah, I think he takes one back. I think he takes one back, bro.
Uh,
I have a
I'm
feeling.
getting
I have a
old,
feeling he's taking
tired
one back
already.
this game.
Uh,
So
I'm not gonna give a prediction. I wanted to give a prediction on the game, but we got a whole nother week, so I'm gonna do a prediction next week, right before the Super Bowl, right? So I want to save it for then. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna let you tell me one of the matchups in this game, Super Bowl, that you are looking forward to seeing. What's one of the matchups that you are looking forward to seeing in this game?
bro, Xavier Worthy and whoever is on guard him.
How did I know you was gonna say that shit?
Listen. The way Xavier has been playing, man,
Man,
dude. He and what's crazy is they haven't even been using him as a deep ball threat.
no,
They
they
haven't
haven't.
even been using him that way. Which
Nope,
is to me, it really shows how good he is because he's not a one trick pony.
no,
You can
and
use him in so many different ways. He doesn't have to just be a deep shot guy. He can do so many other things. You know what I'm saying? So I think
yeah,
Xavier Worthy, whoever's going to be on him is going to have a rough time, in my opinion.
you
So
know what? You know what the matchup is that I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm gonna be honest with you, because I think
offense or defense?
it's on defense. I think McDuffie wants a little bit of get back for the first time that they played the Eagles and AJ Brown scored on him in the end zone. Remember that play where
So
kind of
question though,
he
but
kind of fell?
question though, do
Yeah.
you think him on him, or do you think matchup wise they would rather Watson be on AJ and then McDuffie can? Because I think McDuffie, like, and I get it. I think McDuffie can do it. He can hold his own, right?
Mm,
I think he better
that
suited, like just matchup wise, because of his size. Obviously,
that's a
you put
good
him on
question.
Devontae. Like you put him on Devontae instead.
True.
But you put Watson on AJ because Watson, if I'm not mistaken, AJ he is.
Six foot,
I think he's
six
like
foot, six
six
foot
one,
one.
6'2".
Yeah.
Bro, Watson's like 6'3", 6'4",
You know,
and
I
he's
don't think you can
big.
go. I don't think you can go wrong with watching on him because he does play very, very good coverage. I'm not gonna
You
say
can
that.
interchange them, honestly.
Yeah, I think you can interchange him, but I do think McDuffie wants to get back, especially against McDuffie for that touchdown he gave up in the Super Bowl.
Honestly, that touchdown on Mac. Look, he was holding. I don't care. He was literally pushing it. He was literally holding his jersey down
I'm
while
not talking
extending
about.
his arm.
I'm not talking
I'm
about
just
that one.
saying.
I'm not talking about that one. I was talking
No,
about the
but
one
people
against
talking about he got
AJ.
scored on.
I
Saying
mean,
'cause he's
hell,
bigger.
quarterbacks. I mean,
No,
cornerbacks are going to get scored on, right? It's not like they're not going to ever get scored on. I mean, hell, even Legarius when he was there last year, even as great a year as he had, he never gave up a touchdown all season until what? Until the playoffs. It
and like
happens.
that AJ. Honestly, that AJ Green or Brown one that he had on McDuffie last year, that was low key a fluke,
I
bro.
know, but you
McDuffie.
know,
It was a no.
McDuffie.
I get what you're saying, but it should have been picked. I think McDuffie just lost the ball. He didn't see
Yeah,
it. It could have
yeah,
easily been picked though because he was there. So,
yeah.
but I agree with you. I think it could. But people making it. Hey, listen. Yeah, AJ Green and them, they can do that against the goddamn Commanders. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. They're not gonna be throwing the ball. Jalen ain't gonna be throwing the ball like that to them wide open
Well,
with Jalen Watson and McDuffie out there. So
I can say is I'm looking forward to the matchup. We will talk more about the matchup of the defense between the Kansas City Chiefs and the ability to be able to stop the run with the Eagles having Saquon Barkley. We will talk about
that's
that
gonna be huge.
we will talk
That's gonna
about
be
that.
huge.
We will talk about that next week on next week's show, where we will give a prediction on the scores and what we expect from the game.
Oh,
But
also,
what?
quick before you end it, I need and look, I think Kareem is going to be the lead back. I think he'll get the most carries. I need Pacheco to come out and beat him this game, and I think he can do it.
We'll see.
I need it. I I
He,
I think he can, and he had. And this is the thing. I think that first down that he got at the end of the game because that was huge
yeah, it was.
with that pass from Mahomes. We need a big play for him because he and like I said, Kareem is obviously at this point right now. I think he's better in terms of how the line is operated right now because soon he going to
Yeah.
left tackle and stuff like that. So, but man, if Pacheco can give us one of them big old explosive runs, man, we need it. Come on,
We'll
man,
we'll see.
we need that.
We'll see.
So,
So, well, everybody, it's been fun tonight. I got a few things off my chests, so I needed to say a couple things. But we hope you guys get a chance to view this episode and give us some, some answers. Like I said, we asked the question, why do you think the Chiefs are the most hated team uh, in the NFL or in America right now? Leave your comments or leave your answers in the comments section. We'd appreciate it. But that is it for tonight. We will put this video out, and before the video, as far as before the Super Bowl has its due, on Sunday, we will actually put another video out talking about what we think as far as who's going to do what in the Super Bowl, what the matchups that are going to be key, and how the Chiefs defense will stand up against the run of the Eagles with Saquon Barkley. So we thank you guys. We appreciate everybody that supports us. But that is it for us tonight. Glad you guys got a chance to tune in. Tune in with us again next week. We appreciate y'all. I'm Big Tim. That's Big Mike. This is the Cave Cast, and we out.